Would you believe that these 3 builds all use the same piece of furniture from IKEA? Let's get into 3 of my favorite IKEA hacks. I've been accused of faking the before and after photos of this IKEA hacked sofa table, so let me break it down and show you how I really did use these 5 nightstands to create the white oak sofa table that looks like I bought it for thousands of dollars. Each nightstand has a tiny overhang on either side. I didn't want to trim them off and risk the drawers potentially being too close and hitting one another, so instead I used a little piece of screen molding in between each nightstand to fill in the gaps and give my screw something to really grip onto when I screwed all the pieces together. That took care of the gaps on the front, but I needed to take care of the gaps on top, so I used a piece of white oak peel and stick veneer to hide the fact that these were 5 separate pieces. I got this from my local woodworking shop, but Rockler carries this kind of veneer. The adhesive is activated by pressure. There are tools meant for this, but this marble arch worked perfectly and did not scratch the veneer. The instructions said to trim from underneath with a razor blade, but this was kind of a bust. Thankfully, I had this iron-on edge banding trimmer on hand. Now for the part that I think confuses everybody, I did add an addition to these nightstands. To create brackets for a new tabletop, I glued together 2 sheets of plywood that were going to go on either side. I thought it was really smart of me to save money by only using white oak on the exposed side and top, but I realized my mistake as soon as I went to put the bracket in place. There were more spots exposed than I realized, and I wanted to salvage the white oak that I had used, so I used Bondo to fill in the gap that I had over-routered. Bondo dries so hard you can sand it down like real wood, and I was able to attach the veneer on top of it, and then I covered up the other exposed edge with iron-on edge banding. I was so relieved that fixed the issue. The whole reason I routered that groove was to account for the lip on the side of the nightstand, and it fit over it perfectly. The next step was adding iron-on edge banding to basically the entire front of the piece. It makes it all look like one solid piece of wood instead of a bunch of plywood. The 2-inch strips folded perfectly over the top of the nightstands too. To add the tabletop, the side brackets may have been enough, but just to avoid any sort of sagging in the middle, I added a bracket in the middle as well. I found the perfect wood filler combination to blend in with the white oak. I used this on all the seams. I was very impressed with how well it hid all of them. I then sealed it with multiple layers of polyacrylic. The veneer did bubble in a couple places, which it did say could happen. I was able to go back and push those down or do a little pinhole to get the air out. The top of this thing is made up of 2 layers of white oak plywood. I didn't glue anything together. It's heavy enough to stay in place, and then I just nailed it where it needed to be. The iron-on edge banding does sometimes stick up on the edges, so I just sanded those smooth, which made a big difference. I put the drawers back before adding the bottom piece because I wanted to make sure it didn't impact the functionality of the drawers, so I just stuck that piece below, and it looks like one solid unit. This definitely was not a cheap project. In total, I spent about $900 on all the nightstands and all the white oak plywood, but the inspiration piece for this was $3,000 to $5,000 and smaller. Do you have a window nook that is basically unused space? Getting my kids to read is such a challenge. I thought maybe if I build a reading nook, they'll do it. You know my love for IKEA Malm nightstands, like the ones that I used to build the sofa table? I decided to use those same nightstands here. It's nice to not have to build drawers from scratch, but you still get the storage. I started with a frame made out of 2x4s, and then I tried to attach the nightstands together before installing them, which did not work. The brackets across the back would not stay on when I tried to move them. I should have just installed them one at a time. Once they were in place, I screwed in through the side into a stud. I wanted the bench seat to be pretty substantial, so I actually built the nightstands out a little bit from the wall and wanted to use the back for some hidden storage. So I put a bracket back there, and then when I covered the top with plywood, I just made sure to do it with 2 pieces. The next step was making everything look built in. I kind of did this one piece at a time. There was a gap on either side of the wall, and I used a strip of plywood, 1/2 inch on one side, 3/4 of an inch on the other side. It just depends on your space. Once those gaps were filled, I got to framing out the front. I used a 1x3 across the top and a 1x4 along the bottom, cutting out a notch in the baseboard so that it was a perfect fit. You may be wondering why I didn't remove the baseboards altogether. The floor installers built our baseboards into the floor by not removing them when they should have. You also may be wondering why I'm painting before caulking. I don't know why I do things in the wrong order sometimes, but I will get there. I went back and forth between knobs and pulls. You honestly don't need to add anything. These open fine without those, but I just feel like it looks unfinished without it. I didn't have the wiring for a sconce, but I still added one and then just used a battery-powered light bulb, which works great and has a remote. I just really liked the look of a reading light in a reading nook. As much as I hate figuring out hinges, I wanted the hidden storage to have a hinged top, so I figured it out, added these hinges, and attached them to a bracket I had screwed into the wall. I'm constantly trying to find spots for the large, odd-shaped toys that my kids have, and so that's what this space is used for. The kids also get excited about the fact that it's hidden storage, so they're more likely to actually put their toys away here. There's also an outlet on this wall, so this lid still gives me access to it. This is a kid's bedroom, so I added a blackout shade. Then it was time to address those gaps with caulk. I still don't know why I saved this as one of my last steps, but it was still satisfying and still worked great. I tried making my own bench seat cushion, but it didn't work out that well. I'm not very good at upholstery, so I ended up ordering a custom-sized cushion off Amazon. I went with a color that matched the wallpaper in the room, and once I steamed it, it looked perfect. So big, fluffy, comfortable, perfect for this space. I also ended up painting the walls and the ceiling a color that ties back to the wallpaper, which made it feel more meant for the room. Then we added a huge magnetic dry erase board to give my kids a spot to write down all their deep thoughts while they're reading. And yes, building this space thinking that it would make my kids read more was delusional. They don't at all. It's still a challenge, but isn't it pretty? And look at all that storage. Now I'm going to show you how I combined the black nightstands with a Billy bookcase to create a bar cabinet. The top of the nightstands are going to serve as my tabletop, so I obviously need that higher up. I tried to come up with a creative way of hacking some sort of base, but I decided it would just be easier to build my own out of 2x2s and plywood. Wood glue is stronger than screws, so I used a lot of glue and just used the nails and the screws to keep it in place while the glue dried. I also added additional brackets halfway down the legs. Since IKEA furniture is made up of all kinds of things, I attached the legs using a melamine and vinyl glue because I believed that it might be stronger than regular wood glue. It seems great so far. While that dried, I started working on the top. I added an arch with 1/4-inch plywood, trimmed it all out, and then painted it black to match back to the IKEA color. The IKEA color is technically brown black, but this straight up black paint matched really well. I got super fancy and added some adjustable feet to the legs. I hate when furniture wobbles, so this just gives me some flexibility to adjust if needed. This bar cabinet is not going to be light, so my plan is to keep the two pieces separate and just attach them with a bracket so that whenever it needs to be moved, you can move it in two separate pieces. By now, you are well aware of my love for pull wrap. I am staining it dark walnut just like I did for the backsplash in the coffee nook that I built. It is one of my favorite backsplashes. I love the look, and I thought it would look really good off of the black. It took a little while to fit into the grooves that were existing for the backing it came with, but I finally got it in and it looks great. This next step might be a little bit confusing. I didn't want the stair step look of the nightstand stepping up into the bookcase, so I had to build up the nightstands to level with the bottom of the bookcase. I did this using shims and plywood, and then that gave me a flat surface to then slide a solid piece of plywood over top as my countertop. That solid piece of plywood will remain removable so that I can take it out when I break it into two pieces to move it. I trimmed it out to cover up the seams and then painted all that trim that black color again. We learned from the sofa table that 2-inch thick iron-on edge banding wraps around the front lip of the nightstand so perfectly. I added wine glass storage to the bottom of one of the shelves and then finished it off by adding some poles, even though these are not necessary. I just think they look good. I built this during the holidays and set it up next to our existing coffee bar to kind of create this whole party setup. Looks so pretty with the lights and the garland. I had to film a video at the time making it look like I was at a party when in reality this was filmed at like 1 in the morning and this is what the room looked like around me. When the holidays were over, we needed to find a more permanent place for the bar cabinet and decided to put it in our office. Moving it as two separate pieces worked out great with that sliding in plywood for the top. I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. I used a few different inspiration pieces from Crate & Barrel, Anthropologie, Pottery Barn, etc. You cannot tell this is IKEA.